Minecraft is a game which is loved by millions worldwide and is the most sold game of all time, and by a considerable margin. I mean, look at the difference between GTA 5 and this game, like, oh my god. However, even with its high popularity and vast player base, I see time after time again with player after player playing the game the wrong way. Now, don't get me wrong, Minecraft is a game where, to quote the developers,
"No one can tell you what you can or cannot do, with no rules to follow. This adventure, it's up to you."
And considering the fact that Minecraft is so much more than meets the eye, as the game features so many sub-communities such as Redstone or PvP, you're probably wondering what I mean by people playing this game the wrong way. Now in this video, I would like to solely focus on the survival aspect of Minecraft and how people who play survival don't play it in the way it was intended to be played. Now hold on, intended to be played? What does this mean? Well, think about it. How do most people play survival Minecraft? They start up a new world, usually by themselves or with a couple friends. They then build a small house and later get iron and more down the line diamond until they have full maxed out netherite. Later they beat the game, and that's it. They may get the elytra, fly around a little, but then it hits them. And now that player starts to rapidly lose interest in their world, until they stop playing their world entirely. And then after some time, they'll just make a new world, and then the cycle repeats again. Now, this is what's commonly referred to as the 2-week Minecraft phase, and is a very shared sentiment across social media and real-life conversations. Now, for a lot of players, this may be seen as repetitive and boring to do over and over and over again. But why is this the case? In this video, I have the answer to the problem that we've all been facing, and I will be providing solutions which you can apply to yourself when playing the game to stop yourself from constantly feeling the 2-week Minecraft phase. I am currently approaching 200 subscribers, so if you can please check that you are subscribed, that would really help me out. Also make sure to like and comment. Thank you. Now here's a disclaimer. This is just my opinion, which I've formatted over many years of playing and experiencing this game firsthand, and anything which I may state about players' actions or general behavior does not apply to everyone. Additionally, I would also like to say that if you are happy with the 2-week Minecraft phase idea, and you don't think that the game cannot be played in a better way, then I respect your opinion. This video is here to rather address those who don't find much enjoyment from that, and believe that there is a better way to make the game more enjoyable for them. Now I know that I probably rambled enough for you, and now you're intrigued about how you can improve your Minecraft survival experience, so let's get started with the video. Problem number 1. The game progression is too fast. This is a very common problem which I see across a variety of players in survival worlds, where the 2-week Minecraft phenomenon takes place. During these 2 weeks, players will actually beat the game within that time span. It usually starts off with a hard 12 hours Minecraft session, where players are maxing out to netherite and building just a small house with a couple items inside. After that, on their second day, they go to the nether, kill a couple blazes, and then they might look for the stronghold on the third day, and then they've already beaten the game, and they already have the elytra. Now what? At this point, the game just feels... like, seriously, what is there left to do? You've done all the necessary things which you need to complete the game, and now there's just this feeling of not having anything left to do. Sure, you might decide to do some mega farms, but then, at this point, the game just feels too easy. You don't really need to go mining again. You don't really need to hunt for food again. You don't really need to go to nether again. I mean, sure, there is the wither, but the build up towards the wither fight is nowhere near as cool as the ender dragon fight. So I guess you should just give up, right? This is why progressing too fast is not the most sustainable way to play a Minecraft world, and my solution here is, instead of progressing super fast, you should rather enjoy each phase thoroughly and taking your time when progressing to the end game. Now, if you want to do a lot of things in which the end game stage would help you, for example building huge bases or transporting a lot of items at a time, and you really need these late game items and you truly are a hardcore Minecrafter, then be my guest. However, I think for players who are more casual towards the game should try and slow down the game progression a bit more, and maybe instead of getting netherite in the first day, you wait a couple of weeks to get netherite, and rather just stay in iron armor. Here's a quick side note, the huge upside to staying in iron armor is that while you do die easier, if you do unfortunately lose your stuff, your items won't be as hard to replace, and you can simply respawn and equip a new iron set like it's nothing. Unless you're in hardcore, then I guess it's just tough luck for you. From my experience, I've had this world which I've been playing for 2 years, a lot of which is showcased as background footage in my videos. And in this world, I haven't even beaten the Ender Dragon yet, and I only have a couple farms, being a Froglight farm, a lava farm, plus a standard crop farms. Because for me, I don't really need these late game items such as the Elytra, as I have a lot of things to do in my world that don't require me to get the Elytra. Instead of beating the Ender Dragon, I focus on doing things which I enjoy, such as building, or exploring other parts of the game. Minecraft updates have massively overhauled the game in many ways in recent years. However, the progression to beat the Ender Dragon has largely remained the same, and is not very different from how it was, let's say, 8 years ago. Maybe instead of going to the end, you go to an ancient city, or take a long adventure to a woodland mansion. And by the way, I highly recommend doing these things with friends.
Just run.
I'm the one, half a heart.
Clutch, Roscoe, clutch. Why there's so many? Just run. Just run. We'll be fine.
As the experience is 1000% more enjoyable. However, even in single player, I find this to be a very enjoyable experience. There are so many other parts of Minecraft that I don't even know what to list out. You can do things such as explore the deepest luscious caves or look for the tallest mountains. Essentially, the solution which I'm providing for you is to try and slow down your progression and find other things to do in your world. Trust me, Minecraft is a bigger game than you think. Problem number 2. You're not ambitious enough, or rather you are too ambitious. Now this is a problem which is pretty popular late game, but can even occur early game. In a survival world, a lot of players really don't do anything which takes a significant amount of effort. Maybe a player hops on their world for a little bit and all they do is strip mining for no particular reason. Or maybe they just hop on their world to just farm potatoes for the hell of it. However, they don't really know why they're doing it, but they're just doing it over and over and over again, which can get really boring, and eventually that player doesn't see the point of playing this world, as it's just the same old thing over and over again, and eventually they stop playing. This is an example of someone who is not that ambitious. However, you can even go the other way, in which a player can be too ambitious. Let's say that one day a player wants to build a huge mega base, or maybe they just want to do something cool, like clear out the entire ocean and fill it with lava, just for the hells of it. But they don't know how to start, therefore they just become overwhelmed. And because of how ridiculously big a project like that is, they will become very bored with the project and will later either abandon it and move on to another hopeless project and repeat the process, or just quit the world. Now, the solution here is simplistic, however it will take some work for you to figure out, and that is to try and find a middle ground. For newer projects, don't do something which is super easy and boring, and which does not take you that much engagement, and don't choose something that's so big that it particularly overwhelms you and scares you not to do it. Now, this middle ground will be different for everyone, and it's really up to you to decide what is considered to be too small of a project and what is considered to be too big of a project. If you don't really have a clue, then start projects that are smaller, like maybe building a small house. And if that was easy enough for you, then maybe move on to something more big, like building a nice statue of something. And keep building bigger and bigger until you think a project is too big for you to do. And then that's where you find your middle ground. And like I said, this is completely different for everyone. And here's the thing, as you continue to do projects in your Minecraft world, you're going to notice that these projects are going to start to become bigger and bigger as you adapt to their input, and you would naturally want to continually scale up and do bigger and better things in your world. It's just important that you don't rush this process and do things one at a time. This is also a quick side note, which is something I've already tapped into my previous point, but I'd also like to highlight here. When doing new projects, especially very big ones, plan ahead, and I really do mean plan. Break it down to parts about what you need to do and what order you need to do it in for a project to go well. For example, if I wanted to build a nice sized castle, first I would consider how big I want the castle to be. Then I think about the resources I will need for it. So let's just say I'm building a castle and it takes around 4,000 stone bricks for the main frame and 3,000 for the towers. I would then build each part of the castles one by one, maybe starting off with each of the towers and then building the main frame last, while either collecting all the stone bricks all at once or collecting the necessary amount for each part. Whatever it may be, having a clear plan helps you not become overwhelmed, and dividing it into smaller sections makes it easier to digest and makes it seem more doable for you. I will say that the more detailed your plan is, the less stressed you will be and the easier it will be for the mental side of the game. This is the final major problem that I've seen most players do, and this is probably the most well-known problem. Problem number 3, always creating a new world instead of continuing an old one. Minecraft is a game, and like other games, when we play one too much, we will eventually feel burned out, and that's completely okay. It's normal to not play your survival world for weeks or even months at a time, as you may have other real life stuff to deal with, or you just have a different game that's piqued your interest. Regardless, this is something which a lot of players get wrong when they return to the game after a long break. Instead of continuing an old world, they would rather start an entire new world and start fresh. Now don't get me wrong, I understand why people do like the earlier part of the game, as everything feels sorta new. You haven't touched everything in the game that the world has to offer. However, this can be an endless cycle where you go through world after world after world, and eventually some of these worlds will just blend in together, and you'll have so many worlds to the point where if you wanted to visit an old one, you're going to have to go through a lot of time just to rediscover that world that you were looking for. Now the solution to this is pretty simple. When you begin a new Minecraft phase, instead of creating an entirely new world, you just return to the same old world and continue where you left off. Over time, you can see the different eras your world has gone through. Maybe like you had some time to play Minecraft during the winter break, and you decided to build a bunch of Christmas stuff. Or maybe during the summer, you built a massive sandcastle in a beach. Regardless, in my opinion, I think that this is a more fulfilling way to play the game. There are lots of things in my survival world which I've built over the years, and I haven't been playing the world for consistently 2 years straight. Rather, I've taken many breaks, sometimes months at a time, and it's cool to look back and see the different eras of what I managed to build within these times I was playing the game, instead of just starting a new world. And if you really want to have that early game experience, here's a solution for that as well. Throw all your items away, run a couple thousand blocks until you see an area that you don't recognize, and just start fresh. Boom! Now, if you ever want to visit the old place again, you can just walk there. And you could also now start to explore the new area and having that early game feeling again. And if you explored a lot of terrain, then I'm going to tell you that there's a part of your world which you definitely haven't seen before. I mean, come on, the world is 30 million blocks. You're telling me you can explore all of that? But yeah, anyways, this is a better way than creating an entire new world, with the only downside being that if you do die without a bed, you're gonna have to run all the way back. Which is a minor inconvenience, but I would prefer doing this over creating an entire new world. This is the end of the video. Comment down below if I've missed out on anything. I spent a while making this video, so if you can please like and subscribe. I'm currently approaching 200 subscribers, so every sub and like you give me really helps. See you guys in the next video.